welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com Broiler Chicken Show. Trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich. All right, well, that's about the worst amateur start to a video you could possibly have. So what happened? Are we live? Hey, everybody, how's it going? I went and got some ice water before we did the video, and I could hear in the background. And I left the freezer door open. Oh boy, that's horrible. Anyway, how can you tell this is an amateur hour? That hey, I got my ice water, so at least I'll be able to talk for the next couple hours. So there you go, folks. And I was commenting on social media today about the amateurness of crypto. Oh goodness. Okay, I literally ran to the kitchen and ran back, so now I'm out of breath. But oh well. All right, welcome back to the frivolity. There's a kind of a funny start for the weekly offering. Oh boy, what a mess. Whole bunch of stuff I'm supposed to talk about today. We do generally on the weekends like to catch my breath. We do like to do a little newsletter summary. Not quite sure what I did with it before I got everything going here. Yeah, holy amateur hour, right? That's pretty pathetic. But anyway, if anything, you know that this is live. We are real people. I think I have it over here. Here we go. Did you put together a polished version of this? I mean, this is just operating off of the thing that we sort of do to get this thing going, eh, Chris? Oh, you're awesome. Oh, there it is. So let's click on that. All right. So generally speaking, geez, it's already 19th of November. Would like to try and focus our attention on this this set of information here for you. We did a little sort of news summary of what we sort of thought was going on in the world, some headlines that kind of caught our attention, as well as major econs that came out this past week. As well, we have the weekly commodity trend survey. Markets of note. Some altcoins are moving up appreciably, and as we sort of commented, I think what's going on here in the altcoin land is they are feeling emboldened after Mr. Gensler and the SEC were sort of publicly chastised by the U.S. House of Representatives. They're recently, and I think they're sort of sitting there kind of scratching their heads now, what do we do next kind of idea. And then we'll take a look at the old Bitcoin. Did see a lot of sort of public commentary about Bitcoin here that gets me a little concerned. I mean, maybe my reference to track suit wearing crypto experts while I'm sitting here wearing a track suit. But this is a shameless plug for TRI. Isn't that a handsome sweatshirt? Totally awesome. Anyway, it's in my wardrobe. But I get a little concerned when I start seeing this. I mean, you're going on Fox Business. The host himself is wearing a jacket and tie. I think you try and make an effort to try and at least look like an adult. And if anything, I think this did crypto a major, major disservice that last cycle when that stupid idiot went on literally in front of US government officials and stuff in and not even good quality tracksuits. I mean, really crappy looking sweatpants and stuff. So I don't think it does our, if you are a crypto enthusiast, if you figure yourself part of this community, it doesn't really do us any service if we go on publicly looking like this. I mean, he should have taken some time and effort to make himself look like an adult. I'm not quite sure why we do this, but just the tone of the conversation, I can tell you. And what scares me is when I was a retail broker, when I was, geez, 20, 30 years ago, um, the old timers would always say to me, look, you don't really know what you're talking about until you've actually been in the industry through one full economic cycle, which is usually about 10, 15 years in duration. I find it hard to believe that this gentleman has been through more than one cycle from sort of peak to trough, or maybe really trough to trough. And I just wonder whether people young like this, understanding that Bitcoin was brought into the world through what I, teach our students at TRI, this fear cycle, or basically a preference for hard assets versus soft assets. Um, I don't think that this person has any experience in the market in a greed cycle where there's a preference towards paper assets versus hard assets. And if anything, what I'm really worried about in the crypto space right now is everybody is looking backwards and thinking the last 10, 20 years of our life is what the next 10, 20 years of our life is going to look like. And I can tell you absolutely unequivocally that will not be the case. So it's a little bit dangerous what I'm hearing. I mean, the rhetoric out of this gentleman is basically the money printing that you saw through the fear cycle where the economy, the baby boomers were leaving the economy and we had to hand the economy over to the next generation. And we had massive unfunded liabilities that needed addressing. And of course, a whole bunch of bad debt that the U.S. banking system, frankly speaking, I think that in itself is a bit of a conspiracy that probably we won't really understand for, probably until the next century when historians look back at how bloody corrupt all these banks really were, the way that they run our society. But that's all of that is looking backwards. That's not looking forwards. And that concerns me. And then also too, this kind of conversation, usually these kind of conversations happen after a big bull run. And like this guy here, who has absolutely no idea what the hell a Bitcoin or crypto is sort of seeing the price appreciation and going, ooh, maybe I should buy some Bitcoins. And they're just, they're reaching for anybody that will sort of explain what's going on. Um, I would, I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. So, okay, that's fine. And one thing I've absolutely noticed in this space is people are insanely enthusiastic. And, no exception. In this video, this gentleman was extremely enthusiastic about his view. If anything, what I just sort of said here is that usually when you hear this kind of conversation, we're probably near some sort of local top. And then, anybody who's actually been a student of TRI and, crypto and all that kind of stuff over the years, that there's no way I'm going to endorse you coming in on the buy side way up top here after this fairly appreciable run. And if anything, what we have to do is we have to get back to the point where people are talking about Bitcoin going to zero, how it's all a fraud, there's some sort of horrific hack or some sort of scandal. And then, they're just giving this stuff away. And that's when you can come in and on the buy side. My basic commentary here about Bitcoin this week, when I do my weekly little offerings here. Last week, I kind of running out of time. I mean, I tell you, I've literally worked 7 days a week. There is no days off for me. And I was in meetings, geez, like 6, 7 hours yesterday. I had to even, we finally got in the third meeting that I had yesterday. I was like, after about an hour or two, I was like, you know what? I gotta step away. I'm getting too burnt out here. So, if I do have more time and I'm more incentivized, well, that's not the right word, more time, we'll just say I will do sort of a daily and 4 hour tweets, summaries. But, past couple weeks, I've just been doing the weekly one because I don't really think there's a hell of a lot of change to the story here. I really don't like the idea of new money coming in here and buying at this level. If anything, like we have one gentleman, Colin, and he's now, I think he's been through at least two crypto cycles now. So, and actually, it's weird. You read his bio, he's like father of three. It's like, holy Jesus. All these guys that were just young guys starting out a few years ago, they're now all grown up. Anyway, this is a zone that he really likes, 38.2 to 50%. So we've affectionately, at least I have affectionately called it the Collins pump chaser and dump chaser zones. And you can see how we're pushing up. This is a dump chaser zone off of the entire range for Bitcoin, 38.2 to 50%. This should be a consolidation zone, not a, hey, this was 78.6 fib retracement off of the entire range, the bottom of this green box here. This is a, hey, they're giving this shit away. If the public is crying, we should be in there buying kind of zone. So we're not in it, price is cheap zone anymore. If anything, over the past, the course of the past year, 2023, you can see a very well-defined inverted head and shoulders. Its objective is right up here. That's exactly where we are right now. We are at bullish objectives. Could there be another push higher here? In fact, there's WD Gann. Good old 50% rule. There is a Foggenbaum chaos level floating out up top there. This is an ABCD, or you might call that a bull flag, which is painting an objective up here. Could there be another, I don't know, what is that, 10% to the upside here before this rally is done? Sure. But at the same time, too, you have to fully acknowledge, the trend line off of the actual double bottom, W bottom lows there, from back just about a year ago is way down here, but there's the trend line. So that's trend line support off of the primary trend. You remember how we had so much fun playing with these moving averages back through the late summer and the early fall there. Well, you can see where those moving averages are. The fast moving average you can see is basically just sitting right at this high from the summer. The slow moving averages are sitting basically right at that trend line. So, whether it be trend line support, whether it be fast moving average support, whether it be slow moving average support, you can see where support is, whether it be like Wyckoff checks of previous breakout highs, and that's sitting at basically about 10, 15% lower. So the way that I look at this, and actually what was interesting was on this Twitter, and I don't mean to beat up this guy. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. He might be right. Who knows? But this kind of anecdotal talk here, maybe Bitcoin does go to $200,000-$300,000, maybe $500,000. Who freaking knows? I don't really like his approach because he's basically thinking what happened in the past 10 years is what's going to happen in the future 10 years. And I don't think the world works that way. But at the same time, too, we all understand that his solutions for the problems that we saw over the past 10, 15 years, if anything, this whole resurgence of inflation is your anecdotal evidence that they can't go and hyper money print anymore. You can't do that. Now, if we were in a deflationary environment where prices should have been falling, yes, you can go and hyper print money because all you're going to do is just offset the deflationary pressures. And what ends up happening is everything stays flatline. And that's basically that whole sort of why is inflation at 0% for years and years and years? Well, actually, we were supposed to be going through a deflationary cycle there. Now we're back into inflationary cycles. You can't go and money print your way out of the problem. So just from that perspective alone, the past is not the, excuse me, the future is not going to look like the past. It can't. So, what is the solution? Tragically, I think the solution is at some point, and Granny down there in the US Treasury has said this repeatedly. And now, interestingly enough, she is actually starting to get marching orders from the people who are actually really running the US government. I think they call them the Treasury Advisory Board or something like that. You know, you guys all know them as like the shadow government, the deep state, whatever you want to call it. We actually got visual evidence that there is sort of a shadow government that's actually behind the scenes telling all these quote unquote democratically elected politicians what to do and what to say, which is fascinating. And then through the week, through the daily briefs that I do with the community Monday to Friday, although I take Thursdays off, that's Julian's Day. I did point out two or three really interesting interviews that this one gentleman that I really like on social media, he had actually sort of pointed out that there is actually evidence of a shadow government that's in operation behind the scenes. And they explicitly told Janet Yellen to stop what she was doing and to reverse course. And if that is the case, and I don't know whether I have him in here, you know, probably would be a good idea for me at least to show you what it is I'm talking about. I don't know whether I tweeted him out though or not. Here he is. It's this guy. No. I tell you though, we are coming into this environment though. It's a lot of fun to be able to go. Do you want to buy some shit coins? I love this guy. I wonder where he is in the world now. Anyway, there is another gentleman who is doing social media videos, and now he's got a newsletter service, the whole thing, and all that. But I never tweeted him out, so he's in the lounge. Go and find the links. You guys all know who I'm talking about. Any TRIers. So I guess the point here is that I think what you're actually going to see happen here. I don't think you're going to see this scenario happen, but I think what you are going to see is you're going to see talk about, well, the U.S. government has no choice but to start cutting the in guaranteed entitlement programs. And actually, I'm already even starting to see that kind of talk starting to happen in my country. And we're now probably going to have to move into the phase where the U.S. government actually has to start cutting back on spending. And of course, you know, substitute drama teachers and stuff like that. I think they learned a lesson very, very hard that his sort of over-the-top communist socialist agenda, that is a thing of the past. And you can already start to see it happening in my country, that this overt socialism is being, they're already starting to put the kibosh on it. So, and the problem here is, of course, you do any more money printing, you do any more government spending, and instantly inflation is going to start coming roaring back. Now, what I don't actually think that the U.S. economy itself is the problem here. I think that the U.S. economy is actually in very good shape. And ironically enough, I think it has everything to do with things like Mr. Donald Trump. I think he, through his presidency, he really set the stage for the U.S. to do very, very well in the decade or two going forward. And that's a very unpopular statement, but I think you all know, any longtime followers of me, that I am actually a US dollar bull right now. And I will be a US dollar bull for probably, I don't know, maybe the next maybe 10, 15 years. Having said that, none of this stuff moves in a straight line. You can see US dollar index has had quite a substantial rally. Interestingly enough, when this US dollar index itself does start to top out and M out, it does actually imply that global growth is actually coming back to the fore. I did notice when we were sort of going through our sort of checklist of, you know, what should we be paying attention to, that the US stock market, especially, you know, the NASDAQ, which should dramatically outperform over the next 10, 15 years, You can see it's within a hop, skip, and a jump of breaking the new highs here. And I'm hearing a lot of, again, I think the US economy is actually in perfectly fine condition. And ironically enough, the ranting from social media about how we are going into Great Depression and we are in a bad economic situation. Ironically enough, actually, I mean, the public is usually wrong when it comes to this stuff. And it's only when, and this sort of brings me back to this guy, it's only when you actually get the public all going insanely uber over the top bullish talk, that's actually when a crash is actually likely. So if we start hearing people talking about how wonderful the world is and how wonderful everything is in the stock market, etc., that's probably when we have to start worrying about crash. I don't really hear too much of that kind of talk right now. So as a result, I wouldn't be surprised if the market actually works its way higher. That's not the case, though, for the rest of the globe. As I've said, and probably the biggest tell in my eyes was, Mr. Z here. Basically, I get the impression that things are going very, very badly inside China. Oh, wait a minute. China. I always mix those two places apart. So much so that whatever happened to what was that? What was it called? Um, Wolf warrior diplomacy? Has anybody ever heard of that? Whatever happened to all that stuff? Now Winnie is basically telling, their robot minion fools. I hate these totalitarian dictatorships because the poor citizens are just fucking minions. They're just robots, no freedoms whatsoever. Now all of a sudden, actually, you officially have now been told to fall back in love with the United States of America. No, we're no longer going to stand up to them and push our weight around. We're actually we're going to be friendly with them again. And if there was any evidence of that, it's the simple fact that the leader of China was basically put his tail between his legs and went to the United States of America, went to the enemy's territory, and basically by himself. I can't think of a better analogy, anecdote of submission than him literally. Like, if he was in a position of strength, if he was in a position of power, do you remember there were a few years ago that the US officials were going to China and explaining to China what the situation was and how they desperately needed them to continue playing the game? Now all of a sudden, mysteriously, the tables have turned. So I was actually quite surprised at this development, but I think it's an excellent anecdote of how bad this situation is over there and how this whole fugazi of this China's now going to take over, and Ray Dalio's talk about how China is going to be the next world leader. No, I couldn't disagree with that any more vehemently than I already do. And you know me, I'm pretty salty. So anyway, the point being, back to our sort of summary here. And if anything, this is a really good lesson for all of you that the banksters run the fucking world, for lack of a better term. Yeah, like Andre over there on YouTube says CCP is a paper tiger. I completely agree with that. I think that Joey told us, geez, that's probably a year or two ago, but it'd be interesting to actually mark on the calendar on our price charts the date he said that. Do you all remember? Joey said, I think it was about a year or two ago, might have been a couple more years than that. But anyway, he said the JP Morgan will be in Hong Kong far longer than the CCP will be in Beijing. And wow, did that ever ruffle the Chinese feathers? And not actually, no, I'm not going to say Chinese. I'm going to say it ruffled the CCP's feathers dramatically. They did not like that at all. But frankly speaking, I think that that was basically, I think Joey is basically the banksters' cheerleader, representative. Actually, it was interesting. I was just scrolling through that Twitter feed. I tell you, the world that we are living in right now, the day one of that world that we are living in right now, and I've gone on at length about this, watched the Money Master video, all that crap, right? The day one of the world that we live in right now was this date right here, when all of these bastards were all basically they had to play the political game. Nothing was going to happen to them but to ram this down the public's throat and make them deep throat this bullshit con job scam of a society that we have, they had to be dragged in front of Congress and the congressmen. And at that time, there's, oh, you're all evil. Oh, we hate you. You're so bad. You're so bad. But did anything happen to any of these jerkwads? And of course, there is Joey right there, front and center. There is Goldman Sachs front and center. So you can almost see the hierarchy of how this thing goes. This is actually day one of our new world that we were introduced and we live in now, where basically all these bastards, they went, because keep in mind, the banks, they control the money supply. They went and gave loans to everybody when they really never should have. But it was just pure greed out of these jerks and driving profit margins and all that crap. But anyway, there is Joey. This is who I refer to when I talk about Joey. I think that actually he is their spokesman in the world. And do you know who the CEO of Bank of America is? Do you know who the CEO of geez, how many banks are there? Anyway, there's not too many of them. Do you even know who the CEO of Goldman Sachs is right now? No, but everybody knows who the CEO of JP Morgan is. So anyway, just the point being that I think that these guys actually basically told the Chinese, look, the party's over. And you're not getting any more free money. And unless you start kowtowing and start behaving like good subservient bitches, we're going to make your life hell. And of course, remember, this Jay Powell guy works for these guys. And people in the public don't understand that. Jay Powell, he is the chairman of the Federal Reserve Board, but the Federal Reserve Board is made up of these bastards. They won't publicly show their faces. They use guys like Jay Powell as the cover to carry out their policy, whatever they want. Most people in this world don't understand that, which is so sad. But anyway, it is what it is. All right. So the point here is that I think that the banksters have basically have a war on the inflation. That's right, Andre. I think that this is de facto a war on all of these global countries that actually think that they are in control of their own fates, when in reality, the Ross, you could make the argument that these guys all work for the Rothschilds. Like, the tragedy of JP Morgan is JP Morgan was supposed to be this big American industrialist and leader of the US economy and stuff. But actually, when he died, Vanderbilt actually publicly made a comment. He goes, geez, actually, JP Morgan wasn't nearly as wealthy as I thought he was. Turns out, actually, JP Morgan wasn't very wealthy at all. He actually sold a huge chunk of JP Morgan to guess who? The Rothschilds. So this guy actually works for the Rothschilds. Go figure, eh? So they, like I said, Jay Powell doesn't really represent the American public. He represents these guys, and these guys, they don't actually work for themselves. they work for the primary shareholders, and the primary shareholders of places like JP Morgan is the Rothschilds. And that's how you can play connect the dots with the money masters jerks. So anyway, it is what it is. Rant, 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 rant. So Mr. Powell has waged war on the U.S. consumer. Sadly, that's about the only way that they can sort of curtail this global economy is to choke off demand. We also have to get used to acknowledge the fact that as a solution of the U.S. demographic problem in year 2000, following the dot-com bust, they outsourced a lot of the economy. And then they called it downsizing, right sizing. I mean, it was just a load of horse shit. And they moved a lot of sort of the manufacturing base of the U.S. economy overseas, just gutting the trade unions, gutting sort of the whole socialist, social safety net within the United States. So it worked very efficiently to drive profits and profit margins. And it worked very efficiently to destroy the negotiation ability, if you will, of the American worker. And then you might argue that once that demographic problem was solved, we were on the other side of the baby boomers, the millennials coming online. Probably most of you are millennials. There was no need for that overseas manufacturing. And actually, it was time to start remigrating manufacturing back to North America, where trade unions and all that had really no power at all. I think you could make the argument that, and we've talked lots about this, so this shouldn't be anything new to anybody listening to the Beamish. But we've talked lots about the money supply. And if anything, like, I guess the way that I look at this is, if you're thinking that the money supply growth is going to continue along the way that it is, I think you're mistaken. That's looking backwards. If anything now, and really the question is, where the hell do I have this? I guess this is probably a good example here. I don't think that the trends, like this kind of trend, I don't think that that's sustainable. It's impossible. And this is the whole hyperinflation problem that we have. And you could even make the argument that, aside from the US housing data, you could make the argument that the Fed is trying to bring in this money supply growth. And ironically enough, now if we do have a little bit of a crisis, you can actually see that they even have a bit of wiggle room here. It's not much, but they could actually go and like strap on, I don't know, $1 trillion just to take us back to the levels that we were before. But hopefully what you're seeing is that actually this is sort of our world that we're in now, as of sort of like about a year or so ago. I don't think we're in this world anymore. Anyway, that's Brian's rhetoric. Take it for whatever it's worth. Something actually that jumped out at me, a lot of people, again, sort of circling back to this gentleman's sort of insistence that Bitcoin's going to go absolutely crazy. Something that kind of jumped out at me, and you guys aren't going to like hearing this, but it did kind of surprise me a little bit. These people are kind of looking for Bitcoin to go to $1 million bazillion dollars. I don't know where the hell it tops out, but theoretically, Litecoin has the same sort of valuation metrics as Bitcoin, right? It's proof of work. It's got a regular halving event. And interestingly enough, there was the 21 cycle, and yeah, it came off quite a bit. But what's fascinating is there's the 16-17 cycle. There isn't a huge appreciation above these levels for Litecoin. So interestingly enough, there was the halving event for Litecoin. Actually did basically what we had kind of thought it was. And there was a gentleman, Ben Koffcheck. I don't really remember Ben from the weekly shows that we did there a year or two ago with the TRI community members. But he had actually pointed out that it almost feels like there's sort of like a diminishing returns situation going on here. where previous halving cycle, Litecoin did fairly well. It was a pretty big move up. But this halving cycle, actually, the move up was pretty muted. So I don't know whether thinking about Bitcoin going to the moon is actually really I don't even know whether that's even achievable, to be honest with you. Then, I've pointed out recently that with the advent of the ETFs coming into the space, this is the way that the 1% manipulates prices of assets in the open marketplace. And this happens to be off the Bitcoin ETF that's basically floated versus the futures market. I think that you're going to see more of this, where literally the derivatives markets, things like options, are actually going to put a ceiling. Bitcoin can't have that 100x move if there are a bazillion gazillion call options floating out there on the Bitcoin price, because every call option represents basically more supply of Bitcoin. And as long as Bitcoin is below the call option price, then the call option just becomes worthless. But if Bitcoin moons and there is a bazillion gazillion calls written, then all of those calls can instantly be turned into new Bitcoins. And so as a result, the supply of Bitcoins that will be sold into the marketplace will explode higher. Where you never saw this in the Bitcoin space, and you don't see this in venture capital because it's pretty new and there aren't all these massive derivatives overhanging the market. One might argue half of the reason why gold has not exploded higher is because tons and tons of people are expecting gold to move higher. They've bought call options, and those call options, and maybe they've even bought futures contracts, but I would even say probably more so the call options. But the call options themselves will actually keep a lid on price. And I think that's exactly what happened here through this expiry. Why did the Bitcoin price run up into this level and then just literally stop? I mean, you could argue that we hit this price point back here, just like a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, that's October, so that's like a month ago. And then, another little push higher to get everybody circle jerking. Hey, let's go and buy tons and tons of calls. You can see bazillions of calls here, 11,000 calls on this thing. Keep in mind, 11,000, 100 multipliers. So that's literally like 1.1 million shares of this BITO. Again, if the price was above this strike price here, 20, what is that? $20 even, then all of a sudden that million shares of BITO would actually have some value. The option would be exercised. There'd be a guy sitting there going, great, I just bought a million shares of BITO. Do I really want this thing up top here? And he might just sell and just drive the market down. So it acts as an incredible lid on the marketplace. Why did the bid market get bid up like this through this? Well, it turns out that everybody and their brother over the past week has been, or past year, has been bearish of Bitcoin. And so they've been buying put options with everybody saying, Bitcoin's zero and SBF is a fraud and the whole space is a fraud. So look at all these put options that were bought. And if they bid the price up to just above where all these put options are, then all of these options expire worthless. So you can literally see they literally park the market right between a whole bunch of call options. Better make sure all of those expire worthless. Notice not many calls down here. And then on the other side, a whole bunch of put options in the thousands, but not many options up here. So let's park it right in between. And all of these people, all of the calls expire worthless, all of the puts expire worthless. Wall Street wins. This is the way the game is played. And I've literally pointed this out to everybody like month after month after month. It's just so cliche how they do this. So this is off a futures contract. You start doing a spot ETF where you've got like people owning this in their 401k plans, and you get the derivatives people coming out of the woodwork because they're shilling this thing. That Fink guy, he'll basically take over the Bitcoin market, which is so sad. Do we really want that spot ETF? Unfortunately, I don't think we have a choice. It's coming whether we like it or not. Like Mr. Fink or Dink or whatever the hell the guy's name is. I think he sees this as a massive cash cow, and I think he's going to make ridiculous amounts of money off this. And all I'm saying to you today with regard to today's price action on Bitcoin is you coming in and investing your hard-earned money here, I think is actually asking for trouble. We want to be buying when they're crying and selling when they're yelling. And I don't really like, as I said, this to me is all about them yelling. It's a little bit scary. Now in our newsletter, we had pointed out, I mean, you can see how the crypto market, the breadth wise, it is up top. I don't like this rolling top. This is scary when the indicator looks like this, because it's basically telling you, this can only go to 100. Now, maybe we perk back up here. And I suppose if we talk about Bitcoin price action, we can talk a little bit about why I think the market could work its way a little bit higher here. It wouldn't be shocking, but at the same time too, we're up at the upper end of the range, which means we have to be thinking about the ends of these bull runs. And what you really should be doing as a professional is selling into strength. Like, what does that look like? There is a fantastic example. I'm going to show his post here at TRI today, because I mean, it's just such a perfect example. The market is so volatile. You just have to be light on your toes. Let's see where he is. Actually, maybe he did this in the pro lounge, or excuse me, in the pro lounge, in the TRI lounge. Let's see where it was. I thought it's such a good example of what you should be doing through this type of market state. I won't call out his name. He knows who he is. And of course, anybody at TRI, who posted this. But are we net buyers here? What does SHOD stand for? Actually, I'd be curious, you people on YouTube. What does SHOD actually stand for? Does this SHOD, does it imply a certain type of transaction? Thank you, Constantine. One person. I must have put all of you asleep. Hey, there's another one. Awesome. Are we buying here on this kind of event, or are we selling on this kind of event? You got to train yourself to do this, people. I mean, you can see where the W's are. I mean, if you were really slick and you were on your game, you can see exactly where you were supposed to be buying. But I don't think you should be buying here. You're just asking for trouble coming in and buying there. And this is what's a little scary about this market state is, you got guys circle jerking here. You have price action that looks like this. And remember, most of the public, I mean, keep in mind, most of the public does not do what we do. But if we do that coin gecko, and how ironic, this is coming full circle. Most of the public, I love the guy dearly. I'd like to know where he is in this world. I don't know whatever happened to him. I remember we used to have a guy on the site. He was also a German guy. And I said, if you wanted to, you could be this next guy if you really wanted to. But I don't know what happened to Axel. I'm sure he just went back to his tattoo business. But how does this guy look at, do you want to buy some shit coins? You can even hear in his talk, oh, Litecoin is up 3%. Oh, Bitcoin is down 0.5%. Oh, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, we should get, you know what? Actually, that would be cool if we could get Eddie to do a 2023 rendition of this. That would be cool. Can you give me a hey, 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 because Eddie does it so fucking awesome.
Hey, hey, hey.
He does it better than that when he's not on the spot. But anyway, the point being that all these people do is they pull up a site like this, and this is about the extent of their research. Oh, hey, that Beamish guy says W's are good. Hey, maybe I should go buy that XRP. Look at that. There's a W. Ooh, look at that. Look at Bitcoin's putting in a W. I'm gonna go and mortgage the house and I'm gonna go buy some Bitcoin because that looks like it's going up. Oh, hey, look at Ethereum. Hey, look at that W. Jesus, there's W's all over the place. I got to get in there and buy. Oh, is that one? Well, maybe that's a sell. I don't know. So something about some guy's rocket blew up or something like that. Maybe I'll avoid that one. I don't know. Hey, look at this Tron. Hey, look at that. There's a W, that Beamish guy. But the point is that this is where they end their research. Can you really make an informed decision about whether this is really a good place to risk your hard-earned money or whether maybe this is kind of not a good place to risk your hard-earned money based off what you're seeing here? Not really. But this is the way most of the public participates in this. You know, it was so popular, this way of sort of analyzing your cryptocurrency, that there used to be a site that was actually the go-to. What is it called? CoinMarketCap.com. And the guy that runs the biggest crypto exchange in the world, he knew how incredibly powerful this website is. And frankly speaking, I think this is a horrible way to do your research. He went and bought this thing out and he just integrated it. And you don't even see any reference. But this is actually owned by Binance because he knows that this is actually where most people do their research and they end it here. So, do I think that there's a bit of a trap being laid in the crypto space right now? Yes, I do. Is Bitcoin here today a sell? No, I don't think so. But I'll tell you what I think is that the risks right now are basically a coin toss. And as I've said in recent videos, and actually I even sadly for this one gentleman, and I'm not commenting on this person as a person. I think they're probably very intelligent. They know what they're doing. And over the long haul, is Bitcoin a rise only market? Yes, I think it is, with the halvening events and all that kind of stuff built into it. But I'm a little bit worried when you start hearing this kind of talk in the public market space. Is there a trap being set? And I got a funny feeling there is. So if you're going to go and buy something, for God's sakes, I teach everybody in the school program this every single term, year in, year out. It's exactly what I do. The point about this is, yes, W's are valid, but the problem is this is just way too low of a time frame to actually be considering. What you want to do is you want to find the weekly W's, weekly price charts. The higher the time frame, the better. Is there a weekly W on the Bitcoin chart? Well, there is, but it was back here. What I'm worried about, of course, and I think somebody had just mentioned it, is that you could see that there's going to be a lot of people that, you could argue, well, Brian, isn't that a big W? Yeah, I think it is. You could argue that there's probably a whole bunch of stop loss orders just below this level that are actually screaming as a liquidity pool, that if somebody did want to break a whole bunch of people's hearts in this space, they're going to go after these lows. And interestingly enough, this trend line just off of this peak and this peak, notice that trend line, I think, is actually key support right now. And if we do actually dump hard, notice back into this trend line off of this original bottom, and then that trend line that I just showed you, notice how that lines up with that reload zone. And that would be just a big FU move against all of these lows, wash out the cheap liquidity. I teach everybody this simple statistical measure to measure moves. It's called Fibonacci retracements, 38.2 to 50%. That's Colin and his pump chasers. I think any kind of short-term pullback at any given point in time, I teach in my education program, you should look for a 38.2 retracement at any time. It can happen. And then if this thing wants to get serious, and where would I actually consider I think it's actually okay to start being serious about investing in Bitcoins. I think it's anywhere. The rule I have is at or below reload zones. So if we can get some sort of dump back down into this sort of, high teens, low 20s area, I think Bitcoin's a steal. And I want to buy when stuff is cheap. I don't want to buy when stuff is expensive. Now, as I had said there a moment ago, is Bitcoin actually a sell here right now, today? No, I don't think so. If anything, we look at something like, well, you can just do it off of the daily chart or the weekly charts, beg your pardon. I run a weekly commodity trend survey that just simply says that when the red line, this is the fast moving average on the weekly chart, is above the slow line, this teal moving average, then the momentum of the market is up. And you can see red lines above slow lines. So the trend is still pointing higher. This is not a bear market by any stretch. It's just, it's not cheap. It's expensive. So, the way that I judge cheap versus expensive is I'm a really big fan of this gentleman by the name of W.D. Gann. And he basically said that at any given point in time, you should be able to measure a 52-week range of an asset. So you can see this is the bottom, this is the top. That's the 50% rule. And if we just go from November back to last November, oh, there's 52 weeks. What a surprise. There is the 50% rule sitting at 26,000. So and this is what I would consider the mean, or what is the, if anything, the fair value of this asset given this past year's price action. And I'd say it, Bitcoin looks to me like right now it's about $10,000 to $12,000 overvalued. Uh-oh, don't want to say that. People get all pissed off at you. So, like my tweets today were kind of like, I don't want to throw a wet blanket on this, but this asset is not cheap right now. It's actually starting to get expensive again. And I don't like to buy expensive assets. I like to buy cheap assets. So statistically, this is a coin toss. Could go either way. You see where the key support is. You see where resistance is, 50% level, fog and bombs, bull flags. It could go either way. It's still pointing up. So I think my hunch is that this thing keeps pointing up until you actually get some sort of resolution of that Bitcoin ETF talk. The resolution might be, and in the newsletter, we had pointed out that recently Mr. Gensler and the SEC have actually been made to look a bit foolish. There are politicians in the US Congress that are basically publicly chastising Mr. Gensler, and there's even talk for him to lose his job. He's actually been a horrible representative of the Securities and Exchange Commission, and I wouldn't even be surprised that he is actually ousted. And I think half of the reason why you're seeing the altcoins, this is our altcoin du jour. Keep in mind, at TRI, we are long the market. It's just really a question of where the hell are we going to take profits. This bad boy, and we actually have a list, and we've even created web pages on the website now. Let's see if I can show you them. I don't know whether I have it on here or not. There we are. This is actually Sjord's, and Sjord is TRI's CTO. He is our crypto expert, no doubt about it. And some of his picks recently have just gone absolutely insane. So I'm more than happy to turn over. Sjord, you want to be Mr. Crypto? You want to be the face of crypto in TRI? It's fine by me. And he's killing it. I mean, like anybody that took his rune trade, holy crap. I mean, just to give you an idea of the kind of, look at this. This is the kind of performance that we have seen at TRI. But look at that image. I mean, this is a good opportunity to check in with the public over there on YouTube. Do you think that TRI is coming in on the buy side up here? I mean, come on, people. Seriously. I mean, you can see where we bought. Is it a good idea to come in and invest your hard-earned money here now? Come on. What's Sarah saying? Can someone give a line to the guy he was talking about with the shadow government? Oh, you want that guy? Um, let's see if I can find him for you. He's a very pretty smart guy, but he runs his own channel and he's got, maybe you'll be a subscriber to his newsletter and stuff like that. I suppose that'll probably happen. Let's see if I can find him. I actually look at it on my personal YouTube page, so this might actually screw everything up if I go over there. I've tried of late not to look at YouTube on the TRI page because it sort of skews all the stats when I look at the naked ladies and stuff. Actually, YouTube doesn't have too many naked ladies, does it? They got ladies in bikinis, that's for sure. Okay, let's see if I can find him for you. He's a very, very, very intelligent young man. This gentleman here. No, you're awesome. You're awesome. You're awesome. So it's this guy here. And I don't think that this is the particular video that he makes reference to it. So I'll just post this video. And Sarah, are you on the site? I'll post it in the lounge if you are on the site. That's him. And then what I would suggest is just go through his history. It's specifically about Janet Yellen. And Janet Yellen theoretically is supposed to be in charge of the U.S. Treasury. She had publicly said that she was going to be issuing more debt than you knew what to do with. And then all of a sudden, there was a report that was put out. It was the Treasury Advisory Board Committee or something like that. And they said, cool your jets, young lady. Stop what you're doing. You must do this now. And he highlighted and he looked at the report and all the data and stuff. It was a really, really good piece. So, Sarah, hopefully that helps answer your question. If you're on the site, I just posted the video in the lounge. If you're not on the site, then just Google, there he is, RJ Talks. He's got 100,000 subscribers, so obviously he knows how to play the YouTube game way better than I ever could. Just too bad because I've been doing this so long, but I just have a bad habit of swearing so much. And I think that's what sort of underline or derails me. I don't know why, but oh well, it is what it is. All right. She also said we would never again have a recession in her lifetime. Yeah, I mean, what a doofus, eh? And the irony of it all is there was another. Did you guys see, Sarah? There was a great article, actually by the same guy who pointed it out that Druckenmiller, if you Google Druckenmiller, he tore a strip out of Yellen. And he basically said that really she has no business being in that job. She's actually stupid. And she's like literally destroying the US government. Now, is that by accident or is it by design? Do we want to go down that rabbit hole? And that's usually what gets me in trouble with these YouTube algorithms and stuff is I start getting angry at things like Joey Diamond and all the corruption of our society with Rothschilds, money masters, blah, 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 blah. And I think that Miss Yellen is actually an agent of the Rothschilds. And she's doing exactly what she's supposed to. She's doing exactly what she was told. You must dilute the fuck out of the US dollar because that's the only way they can keep this debt game going. It's just simple as that, folks. Just as simple as that. Anyway, which is really, that opens up another can of worms too, because then that's an interesting conversation of what Jerry's motivation is. Because Jerry actually worked for George Bush Sr. And theoretically, Jerry is a hard money guy. So I think Jerry actually is really angry at people like Yellen and people like Bernanke and stuff like that, because they are sort of like lifer bankers, whereas Jerry actually came from industry. He was part of the Carlyle group. And frankly speaking, I think Jerry was made to look like a fool through that whole, like you said, there will never be another recession. He actually bought into that bullshit. And I think on the other side of it, he was publicly humiliated over that. And I think that's half the reason why Jerry's hair went as white as it was, is that halfway through all this, he went, oh shit, they said this time it was different. And it's exactly the same as it always is. Anyway, have you ever heard Brian say that before? Actually, Jesus, I'm so full of piss and vinegar here, right? Okay, that's not a bad thing for me to do here. Let's take a moment, talk a little bit about Black Friday. Obviously Black Friday is coming up here. If you enjoyed the rants, if you enjoyed this video, if you've gotten any education out of this, please, hit the like button, subscribe, ring Colleen's bell. Where is Colleen these days? Maybe consider just suggesting this to a friend. All that kind of stuff helps the channel out quite a bit. I see actually we have quite a few viewers here today, so that's encouraging. Black Friday deals. The team actually has put together these pages. I think they look really, really professional. So way to go, team. We are offering the Pro package, which is sort of the subscription to all of Brian's screeners that he has on the website, including our proprietary breadth indicator. We actually have a contest right now on the site to actually rename the breadth indicator, something that's sort of like very TRI-ish. And unfortunately, I think the term breadth has become kind of diluted in the marketplace. So maybe we want to think about a different name for that. But anyway, access to the breadth indicator, access to these portfolios that, this is the little old lady portfolio that we have up and running for this coming crypto cycle. If you're at all familiar with my really, really simple approach to investing, then last cycle, this is where I have at the top of this public page here. The last cycle, I publicly said I was going to take $500 and turn it into 100,000. And it actually zipped up to, I think the top of the market was like 700,000 or 800,000. We officially took out 300 and change after paying taxes and all that crap on this. So it was like a massive win. So in essence, I've just started it up again. Although this go round, we've put 10,000 bucks into this thing. So you can see these, obviously these purchases, 500, 200, 1,800 in Polygon, 250, 540. So you can see I am building up positions over time, sort of Nanny Nibbles style. And actually, the team we met, we actually, for whatever it's worth, at TRI, we have a little old lady club. And we met yesterday just briefly. Chris and I also have a plan in altcoins going that's sort of just fun between he and I. But we had a fun meeting. Eddie, of course, I talked to him. Hey, guy, he owns like half of everything in crypto right now. He's going to make an absolute fortune this cycle. But anyway, so the point of the matter is, whether it be you like crypto from a little old lady perspective, you want access to what it is that we're doing in that market, you want to take serious money, and keep in mind, this is like in the tens of thousands of dollars. Even, I don't know what, actually, I think a couple of these positions have actually got up into the hundreds of thousands of dollars now. Some pretty big positions. And of course, it helps that the damn name goes fucking like 10x. So what was like a $10,000, $20,000 investment is now turned into 100,000. I fully expect this portfolio should actually be able to buy TRI and Island at the end of this cycle. That's how powerful these names are. And then, like in our newsletter here, one of these names you see that we're pretty heavily invested in, you can see it's getting ready to go. This is this route. We're long from down here, and there it goes. And you want to see how far this, this was one of them. We bought down here, and I mean, what is that? That's like 5x now on our money. And we've only hit 50% of this recent range. Look where this thing could go. This gets ridiculous. Is there no reason why this thing can't go all the way back up to 20, $30? I mean, what was fascinating about this, and this is a really good sales pitch for you to come to TRI and participate in the community, because Fjord has actually pointed out that this is turning into one of these, the incentive to lock in your coins, to take advantage of all the, payouts and stuff like this. This is the, 10,000 APR finance, all that crazy stuff that they did last cycle. It's starting again, and this thing's turning into one of these rise only assets. Sjord's idea that last cycle he bought into Luna at like 50 cents, went to over $100. I think that this thing's going to do the same damn thing. And I mean, Rend, look at Rend. There it goes. This is another one. Sjord's in at the bottom. And there it goes. That's already 10x off of the bottom. Can this thing go up and take out these highs and zip? I mean, we all know about the artificial intelligence. The point being, that's what this thing sort of is in the video graphics space. So the point being, whether you're interested in being a little old lady, and I've got to work away on filling all this out. I'm a little bit negligent on it, but oh man, yesterday was a super busy day for me. Anyway, getting all this stuff up and running and ready to go. So, are you a little old lady? You want to participate in this? Are you a serious investor? And we're going to do fundamental write-ups of why Sjord likes this. And, every Tuesday he comes on and does a commentary. So we should have links. Chris, you should be getting all of those video links and stuff going. So actually, I should be talking to you about that and sort of sparsing out those video links so that we can list this when Sjord does talk about the fundamentals of these individual ideas. Chris, can you just acknowledge what I just said there? Did you hear what I said? Because we got to do this. All right, cool. Thanks. This is part of this pro dashboard. As we show you here in the weekly newsletter, part of the pro dashboard, of course, is getting access to the weekly commodity trend survey. Last year we had lots of 5s and 6s in the crypto space, and of course 6s are our buy signals. I won't go into that today. We just don't have enough time. And then, of course, we have our proprietary breadth indicator. And this thing, I had somebody tell me the other day, and it was so cool, I even tweeted it out, that just this one trade signal that the S&P spat up here, and of course, you got to take these in real time as they happen. This thing paid for the whole pro dashboard subscription, just this one trade signal here. And what's fascinating is the whole market tanked right on that eclipse event. And of course, there was a beautiful sell signal. So both the sell signal and the buy signal produced insane profits. I would show you the insane profit trade that the crypto bread signal provided, but that's not the purpose of this newsletter. This newsletter is just sort of give you sort of, okay, what's the current backdrop look like? But this signal over here, it produced like a 20-30% return. I remember Josh, our marketing guy, said that he took this trade and his portfolio went up like 27% on one bloody trade. So anyway, right now we're getting a lot of chop here in the crypto space. And as I sort of talked to you before, I can understand the chop, but what's actually fascinating about this, we just don't have enough time to get into this today. If you are interested in how Brian trades Bitcoin using things like RSI studies, I had warned people that this was a third M, which meant that this was a noob trap. And sure enough, market actually put in an inside bar off the daily charts, is putting in a little bit of a W here, which of course our first W is our teal W. So everybody knows what our teal W should be telling us. If you have listened to anything that Brian teaches you about using RSI and trading the three M's and W's in RSI. Oh, gee whiz. And I'm talking like 100 miles an hour here too, eh? I'm trying to get in as much as I possibly can. So point of the matter here is We gave everybody at TRI an absolute steal of a discount about a month ago to encourage them to renew their dashboard pro package membership. And we even told everybody on the site, look at the days of this, us giving this away for, like $50 a month. Those days are over. But since you guys have been also loyal and you are, good paying customers, we're going to extend this to you guys as site members. So we've done that. But after we did that, we actually raised the price of the dashboard dramatically. And frankly speaking, I even think at $2,000, that's what the regular annual price for this is. What does that come out to? That comes out to like $160 a year, a month. $160 a month if you are actually speculating with some serious money in the marketplace. That's laughable. So this is our new price. Get used to it. If you are relatively new and you're watching this video for the first time and you're like, who is this guy? Hey, what's going on? Well, we do have a Black Friday deal for you guys. We'll knock 50% of that price, the new price, off. And this is, if anything, this is our way of sort of giving back. And that works out to something like $75 a month subscription for these tools that, like I said, this guy spent like $700-800 on the package in one trade, spat out that as a profit. I think a fantastic deal. So this is the Black Friday sort of promo page. I will put this. I don't know whether I saw somebody posting. Somebody put a Google Docs link. I don't know whether that was. That's the TR. I don't think we want to open that to the public. So whoever put that link in there, let's put this link in the lounge. And if you're part of the TRI community, then I like the idea of you guys participating and coming up with the naming of this. I don't know whether I really want to do it for the public. So I'll put that in the lounge if you do want to be part of that. Oh, Jesus, look at that crazy ass link. Wow, what a mess. Oh, goodness. I hate when it does that. Okay, so let's try that. Oh, now the link's gone. Damn it. Was that you, Chris? Did you do that? And if you did, can you give it to me again? Oh, okay, good. All right, well then I'll delete that what I just put there. What I will show you over there on the YouTube page, and I'll link this. If you want to come and learn more about the Black Friday deal for the either the Pro package, there that is, and great links. What I really like, I worked with our marketing guy and really came up with a nice solid. I want a clean sort of description of exactly what it is that you're getting. And then, of course, if you want to learn a little bit more in detail, I asked our marketing guy to put together a page. I like this. This is pretty. It works really, really nice. I think this is an excellent sales pitch for the product. So if you want to come and learn a little bit more about the team, the way the breadth works, I mean, if anything, I almost don't want to give you how the breadth works. So it is what it is. That's the way it is now. But what's great is that the team actually went and studied every single signal and various different ways to trade the market using 1x, 2x, 3x leverage. What were the results? And then, of course, our users and paying customers, it speaks for themselves. What they're saying. I think this is a great package. And, I'm a huge fan of key reversals. So, also a nice little sales pitch of why Brian likes his key reversals so much. That's also thrown in there. And then a nice goofy picture of Brian to boot. So you want to learn a little bit more about the Pro package? I think the team has put together a really, really great resource here. And then at the same time, too, we give this school program away for nothing. So I'm not going to give you a 50% off because, I mean, we already are giving this thing away for nothing. But we figured, okay, there's got to be, we got to do something for you guys. So what we've decided on is we're going to knock a couple $100 off of the basic level 1 program. Again, if you do decide to sign up for the package deals, to be perfectly honest with you guys, I don't like these package deals. I think they're ridiculous how we're giving this information away. But the whole team was like, yeah, the package deals, it's really, I mean, you can see the discounts that we're giving you guys on these for the Black Friday deal. I will button my mouth and swallow my tongue and take it on the chin, because everybody here is on the marketing team has said, you really got to offer these packages and stuff like that for people that really want it. Now, if you're just sort of like, well, Brian, all I really want to do is I just want to do that little old lady thing where you made a whole shitload of money just with like nothing, just nibbling away. I mean, you can see the average purchase price of these things. It's not a lot of money. I've just 10x'd everything. Last cycle, I started with $500, so these would be like $5, $2, $25 kind of idea, and I just worked it up over time. We've obviously increased the size because we want to get paid a serious amount of money here when the market does go face rippy uppy. So if you're just like, I want to learn how to do this, Brian, okay, well, that's our level 1 program, and you can see you can come in here and do the level 1 program. We give you basically $200 off, or better part of $200 off the price. I think that's a really, really generous offer. You want to learn a little bit more about the school? Like I said, I'm super pleased with the way the team has put this together. I just want to learn that level 1. Just sign me up, man. You want to learn the entire thing. Maybe you like trading futures. Maybe you like trading forwards. Maybe you like trading options. Maybe you like option spreads. Maybe you like doing leverage trading of Bitcoin. Point here is I need more tools. I need things like I need to learn who WD Gann is. I need to learn how the futures industry actually works. What's contango? What's backwardization? I need to learn things like what is a delta when it comes to options. I have to learn, why would I prefer to do a bull call spread versus just owning an asset outright? Well, I have yet to see anybody on the interneting actually do as thorough of an education program as we provide at TRI, taking you from absolutely knowing nothing to learning the process, learning how to behave as a responsible market participant, learning what a setup is, understanding that, remember I had talked to you earlier about why I don't really like investing in Bitcoins right now. I think that actually it's a zero sum. Well, no, it's not. I think it is like literally a coin toss, whether you make or you lose money with buying and investing in Bitcoins right now. And frankly speaking, that's not a good way to run a small business of trading. You have to basically identify edge, where if I'm actually going to take a shot here, the statistical odds of you succeeding are in your favor. That's the key to all of this. Most people in the marketplace don't understand that. And sadly, especially when you get the public getting all right, oh, just buy Bitcoin, you'll make a fortune, right? And all that kind of stuff. And it's going to the moon. There's no way it's not going to the moon. Whenever you hear somebody say that, that is your warning sign that, oh, fuck, this thing's it's got trap written all over it. I should just leave it alone. I mean, it sucks. And like I said, when I tweeted this out, I'm probably going to take a lot of shit in social media for saying this. But when you hear people talking like this, that is a major warning sign that you should just cool your jets. Anyway, it is what it is. I'll live with my words. And if anything, what I want to say, and I might even, I'll even do it now, say, I will come back to this tweet 6 months from now, and let's see if I have to eat my words. And I will publicly eat my words, and I will publicly acknowledge that I'm an idiot if 6 months from now you don't see that at some point down the road the price of Bitcoin is materially lower than where we are right now. And there was actually a better buying opportunity for you. Hint, hint, hint. At the very least, think Collins pump chaser zones. But what we actually teach in our education program is if I do want to be an investor in an asset and I do want to buy cheap, then what I really should be concentrating is on reload zones. But I will just, for the record, just publicly say I will come back to this tweet 6 months from now. Somebody remind me, right? We'll even put in brackets here. Someone remind me to do so, right? Because I think that we're making some sort of local top here. Anyway, it is what it is. Point here is you can't run a small business of trading with chasing markets. Don't chase, don't chase, don't chase. You've probably heard me say that 100 times. So whether it be teaching you technical analysis, basics, location, indicator confirmation, you can see all the different indicators we're going to teach you. Price structure. I don't know whether we actually even get into price structure listed on here. Well, this thing sells itself way better than I can in 2 or 3 sentences. And of course, if you want to learn more about the school, again, beautiful page. Josh, you knocked the cover off the ball. Perfect. Absolutely beautiful. Including lots and lots of direct comments from actual students. Don't listen to the Beamish. Beamish doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's just a broken record. Listen to our students. It's the students that actually sell this product because I've changed their lives. We at TRI have changed their lives. And that's what this is all about. We're trying to make a positive difference in this world and change your life for the better. Break the financial slavery that, those Joey Diamonds of the world want you trapped in forever. And it's so sad. I have to say it's sad because I don't know how else to describe it, that literally the powers that be here around the world, they're trying to actually outlaw this. They're actually trying to make it so that you cannot participate in this. And, frankly speaking, don't be surprised if your friend Brian actually is relocated to El Salvador, because China has actually made it illegal for its citizens to even consider participating in this. When this kind of price appreciation, this is how you go from, punching a fucking clock, cocksuckers, I hate my boss, and I hate this work and I'm just a slave, to, hey, I take $500, I can ramp it up into $500,000, and I could go buy a house free and clear in maybe a really nice tropical environment. And I don't have to work anymore in my life. I'll just live off the land. That's not such a bad life. So for the price that we're charging you to learn this basically life-changing skill set, I think it's actually very agreeable. And I don't see any reason why every single one of you can't do this. Okay, there you go. Just knowing little old lady is life-changing. Good, Omar. And the irony of it all is you can use a little old lady approach trading stocks. It's the same logic. I just, ironically enough, crypto is so freaking volatile that, you'd almost be foolish to not do this because it's just such easy money. The key here, though, is you can't come in and buy up here. You have to force yourself to come in and buy down here. Can you do that? I don't know. You want help learning how to do this? Take our education program. There's lots of tools that we teach you guys how to do this. Okay. Black Friday shill. What do you think? Did I do a half decent job shilling this? Okay, good. I think I've given you enough rant about why I don't really like the idea of investing in Bitcoin right here. I actually really don't even like the idea of trading this right here. This, that is a nasty, nasty structure. Hopefully all of you look at that and go, holy divergence, Batman. Having said that, if you use the 3 high low, or maybe 3 high low is not the right word, 3M, 3W concept, you actually know that this is a noob trap here that was just laid on the downside. And this little W here actually is telling us that if you're a bear, you better cool your jets. I still think that it's basically a coin toss here. And this, if anything, is why I don't like people getting into the business of predicting the future. Because frankly speaking, you just don't know which way this thing's going to break. Statistically, 50% levels like to be tagged. You heard me talk about WD GAN earlier. 2.618 Foggenbombs usually like to be tagged. AB equals CD bull flag objectives. Usually they like to be tagged. Could there be a fuck you here of $5,000? And really this thing goes, woohoo! Sure. Can you handle a move like this and not freak out? I doubt it. Like if I went and bought there and all of a sudden I came back from Liam and the damn price is down like $7,000, $8,000, maybe even as good $10,000, I would be a bit verklempt. There is no edge here, and I am all about edge. So what this means is if I did buy off of the bottom where there was clear edge, who can tell me? What do I like? And it's just recent. It's probably over the past year or two I've done this. But what do I call this number right here? And is there a reason why I call that number right there? That's my favorite fib. I call it the line in the sand for the education program. If this still was a bull, then this is where the bulls are going to step up and defend the story. Did they step up and defend the story here? This is fantastic trade location. Is that a W in price? Oh, what does that Beamish guy say about weekly W's? That's the shit right there. How about bullish momentum divergences to frame that this market is actually stronger than what you think it is? You bet, right there. So everything was there to say, yep, the statistical odds of you making money investing in Bitcoins down here around what's that, 17 to 18,000 bucks, it was there. Is it here now? No, it is not. And literally, this is a coin toss. It could go either way here. And I don't like to take those kind of setups. That's just not me. And I don't teach anybody to take that setup. So that's my commentary on the Bitcoin. That's why I didn't really want to go into too much lower time frame analysis, because frankly speaking, I don't really like what I'm seeing here. This looks very dirty. The daily chart, huge bear div on this RSI. You should all respect that. It hasn't emmed out here yet. Now, I was sort of conjecturing maybe this is turning into some sort of head and shoulders top. It's not technically head and shoulders because this high is actually not higher than that high. Somebody on the site actually pointed out maybe this is a railroad tracks. But I did notice that with this third M that I thought that this was going to be a trap. And sure enough, it was a trap. Anybody who got super jazzed on the bear side and sold into that low, you're probably pretty pissed off right now. I suppose if we want to try and figure out what's going on in the lower time frame, maybe look at this lower time frame chart, the 4 hour. I did have a bullish setup working a few weeks ago, right? A, B, C, D to take us up top here. And then we started working up. I had my move stop to trailing level hit. And then we started to go a little bit crazy haywire in here. So that told me, you know what, just hop off on the sidelines, walk away. And you can see there is the sell right there. That was when I officially said, look, I'm on the sidelines. I don't know what's going to happen here. So let's just cool our jets until maybe a new setup forms. Right now, I got nothing. This is just an absolute mess. Maybe one low, two lows, three lows, maybe. But you know, what I'm worried about here is you get a spike up against this trend line, it's going to get rejected off of that trend line, and then we start our dump. And I don't really have anything setting up for a new trade. I mean, maybe overnight and for the free video tomorrow, I might look at the futures and see whether this bull flag is setting up and I have enough 3 higher lows to justify a long entry here. I'll look at that, but we got to start winding this video up here. I'm not going to even talk about that. Probably I'm just going to leave the conversation out right now. this is kind of in no man's land right now, and I don't really have a hell of a lot of structure. Don't even think I really even, yeah, I don't even have any indicator confirmation. Everything's just going sideways right here. I think my inclination right here, right now for this guy here is I just want to leave it alone and let something more solid set up. But it's actually ironic. We were looking at this earlier today. Is there's the Litecoin halvening event. It has had its halvening event. There's the follow through following the halvening event. I wonder if Bitcoin's going to have to do something along the same lines. You notice that, maybe this is Bitcoin running up to where we are now. Notice the pullbacks into support before the halvening event. I like this kind of action into sort of maybe January, February, March, right? Keep in mind, this is a weekly chart. Then a huge rally just before the halvening event, and then a big dump following the halvening event to set up a new buy. And look how we are putting in a W on Litecoin right off the original weekly W level. And I even told somebody today, I was like, and I even put it on the site. Hey, does somebody want to go and pick me up some of this Litecoin, and then I'll settle up with him because I'm doing everything off this ledger thing, and it's a total pain in the butt. But I don't trade on any of these centralized exchanges anymore. Like my fucking China substitute drama teacher knows better than me, has basically made most of the crypto exchanges illegal for me to participate here in China. Thank you, substitute drama teachers, fucking asshole. So, I have to basically do everything peer to peer now. So anyway, point of the matter here is if somebody wants to go and buy some Litecoin for me and I'll just settle up with you, I'll be more than happy to take that off your hands. I'm happy to be long from 67.40. So where are we right now? We're 70.21. This can pull back $4 or $5. I'll be more than happy to take it off your hands. If you want to sell it to me, it's up to you. I'm just not allowed to participate on these stupid centralized exchanges anymore. Okay. Let's see. Do we cover everything on the newsletter? Not going to talk weekly commodity trend survey. If anything, on Mondays, I do like to go through the site, and maybe we'll make it a habit on Mondays to do weekly commodity trend survey. As I started off the broadcast with, great to see the fucking Winnie the Pooh in China and all that shit is they're just looking like absolute idiots right now. And thank heavens, because I have believed all along, and I've told everybody always, never invest in a totalitarian dictatorship. 5 years ago, you would all thought I was an idiot and stupid. Now, you're all realizing how absolutely asinine it is to think that a totalitarian dictatorship is actually an investable society. It is not. Now, whether it be things like Winnie the Pooh or whether it be things like Vladdy, I hope you all got a firm lesson in why you should never, ever, ever invest in a totalitarian dictatorship. We had fun, obviously, talking at length about this, but frankly speaking, I think this person is backward looking, not forward looking, because of Jupiter Saturn crosses, change in demographics, change in, they've already hyperinflated the money supply. Any further printing will be instantly inflationary, and look out. Little bit of forward looking. I think everybody and their brother is going to be watching for how the Fed sort of acts here and what their minutes are. And I hate to say it, but I think the Fed's going to say the same thing that they've been saying all along here. I don't really see any change in their stance. And keep in mind, the Fed will only act when they actually start seeing things break. And, with the US stock market as strong as it is, I mean, let's call a spade here, folks, right? The NASDAQ, the stock market for the next 100 years. Is anything breaking in the United States right now? This is an unequivocal no. So I don't know how you can make the argument that the Fed's going to lower interest rates anytime soon. If anything, if this stock market breaks out to new highs, they're going to be like, we got to fucking step on the pedal a bit more. Don't get me started about China, golden Burks. That's what the reference of China is all about. Frankly speaking, I am absolutely disgusted, embarrassed, nauseated by how undemocratic Canada actually is. It's disgusting how they've set this system up in my country. So, China, that's what that reference is, Golden Box. And frankly speaking, I actually think the capitalists in the United States of America, I showed you a picture of them earlier. Nothing has changed here. These guys, they want to remind Mr. Toilet Water, because that's about the best way to describe him, who's actually really driving the bus here. Is it the socialists or is it the capitalists? These guys here, they are reminding, using their agent in the central banks, because keep in mind, the central banks are controlled by these people. They are using the central banks to remind Winnie the Pooh, to remind Vladdy, to remind Mr. Toilet Water exactly who's driving the bus here. And they are going to keep their foot on Mr. Toilet Water's neck until something breaks here in China. And frankly speaking, like I said earlier, the fact that Winnie the Pooh got off his big fat ass and came all the way over here to the enemy, to San Francisco, and basically put his tail between his legs and kowtowed to the Americans, that is your anecdotal evidence that China is breaking. These guys are getting what they want. Remember, Joey is going to be in Hong Kong far longer than the CCP will ever be in Beijing. Take that shit to the bank. Oh, shitty. Do we? I was having so much fun ranting here. All right. Well, I guess I better get to work. God damn it. Are you guys enjoying? Are you having fun? Yeah, give me some feedback here. Are you guys enjoying the Beamish insanity here today? Is anybody getting any value out of all this? Oh God, look at all these questions. I'm dead. Actually, we lost one of our regular guys because I think he was just fed up with all my ranting. I don't see him on the call here today, and I kind of like joke with him about my insanity, but I don't see him here anymore. So I think he gave up on me. And Brian's slightly opinionated. Okay, let's get on with the questions. Hopefully, I've spoken to everything that you see in this newsletter. Congratulations to anybody who's, I mean, dude, dude, I would say that site subscription that we have, just getting Fjord's ideas, dude, that's fucking worth the subscription price alone. And you get all the fucking Beamish rants in as a bonus. All right, let's get on with the questions. All right, so let's see if I can do this. Number one, Brian, please talk about Black Friday deals from TRI. I have noticed that the pro subscription increased from a price of 800. Yep, sure did. Will we get a Black Friday deal for not for 800? Sorry. I mean, you see what the fucking substitute drama teachers are doing. Do you know how much a loaf of bread is in my country? Fuck me. This is the past. And you're not going to see that price ever again. I'm sorry, folks. You're just not. We are letting you have this at $1,000. And if you want to pull the trigger at $1,000, $999 or whatever, well, way to go. We told everybody, look at this was the deal. If you're a site vet, if you're a site student, take advantage of it. So the point being that there is the Black Friday deals. I will say, no, I'm just going to leave it at that. If you want to PM me and tell me about how a wonderful person you are and how your dog died and your truck is not working and you missed your last mortgage payment, You can always cry on my shoulder. Maybe I'll be generous, but I doubt it. This is our new pricing package going forward. And if you want these discounts, take advantage of this Black Friday deal, because when they're gone, this is going to go up to $19.95 a year, which in itself is like 150, 175 bucks a month. That's ridiculous. I mean, that's for the service that we provide. Just even Steward's killer fucking crypto investor list right here. I know guys that would charge on Wall Street $5,000-$10,000 just for access to this list alone, and what Steward's doing there. So I better take it off the screen ASAP. So, I mean, that's about the best I can say. And I did spend quite a bit of time here talking about that question in particular. So I don't think I need to beat it a dead horse. If you want to learn, I mean, look at these pages. They're just so pretty, so perfect. Nice job, Josh. Nice job. Come and check out these pages. All you got to do is just go to therationalinvestor.com. Pro school, that's where this information is, right? Geez, it looks so nice. That looks good. I could literally sell off of these pages now. They look so professional. Very, very well done, Josh. Very well done. Okay, moving on. Number 2. Hi, Brian. I'm interested in your pro breadth indicator tool. It's just please understand, this is just one of the features of this pro package. There is so much value in this pro membership. This is just one simple tool of this. So don't get sort of entirely focused that this is the only reason why I'm investing in this. There are just so many benefits to this. What are the recent developments in this from your side? Well, I mean, you need to understand that I actually built this. I mean, just to give you an idea, I built this breadth indicator 1,000,000 years ago. So it's not really like we are. And this is my life's work. I mean, I look at here's just this Wayback Machine had even references to back to 2011. But I mean, unfortunately, this is when my wife passed. But this is how I did all of this, and all of this was all built. I did it with my 1980s website, and everybody loves to make fun of me. But you can see that basically this was up and running like 20 years ago. So it's not really like we're creating a new product. All that we've done here with the breadth indicator, and by the way, we are sort of polling the site. We would like to maybe come up with a name that's a bit more community and a bit more sort of what we all sort of think is the best naming for this. I get the impression that the breadth indicator is just not enough. So as I said, Chris posted that on there. And everybody that's watching, everybody that's a site member, please participate in that poll. The more people that do, then more inputs we get. Maybe the more fun, different names we have. And you never know, your name that you put down, maybe that's the one the whole group picks. And it's not up to Brian. It's going to be up to the entire community. So what are the recent developments in this from your side? Well, I mean, I have heard that you will add the LOL data to the dashboard. Well, that was this image. So you can see these pages are already well underway. It's just a question of where we fit them in. You see the TRI portfolios. So that's not part of the breadth information. That's I've already sort of talked about this today, so this might be a bit redundant. So LOL data in the dashboard, yes, that will be part of the pro package, but that's nothing to do with breadth. That's just another feature of this pro package. Will this be part of the pro subscription? Only, yes. You need to be a pro subscriber to have access to those pages. In Discord, do you get a membership to the Breadth Cross and Algo Signals channel with the pro? Yes, absolutely. This is part of the pro package. Like I said, for 150 bucks a month, we're basically giving this away. The silver basic site membership, which we do give away if you do the entire school term, it gives you access to the basic site dashboard, which is that overview page. Let's see where I can show you this page. We're even debating, though, whether maybe we take this away because it is such a powerful trading system unto itself. But basically, you get access to this page. And the site videos, like we have a very, very extensive video recording library. Somebody's supposed to be doing, oh, look at this. Oh my God, that's so beautiful. Yay. Oh, look at this. Awesome. Oh, it's a miracle! Woohoo! You know who you are, who I've asked to get this updated. This is exactly what this is supposed to look like. And there you can see on Tuesdays, we have Sjord, our CTO, come in and talk about. I mean, he did an absolutely incredible rundown of why he likes Rune and where Rune's going and all that in that most recent. And this kind of video should be embedded. We should take that link and embed it right on this page right here, so you can look at the videos and commentary that Stuart's made on his list and all that kind of stuff. So the point being that the silver membership has access to the basic members lounge, which in itself is an absolutely incredible resource. It gives you access to the video library with all of these write-ups and stuff. Gives you access to the overview page, which is just a basic overview of the market. But it doesn't give you access to any of these pages. And it doesn't give you access to the crypto portfolios of the little old ladies. That's all part of the pro package. So just understand that. Hopefully I explained that well. I know it's a little bit difficult to understand me sometimes. I'm all 20 different places. Back to our question here. The Discord room, like the actual chat server, it actually has like pro signals page. So if you are a member of the pro package, then you have access to this chat room, which is just nothing more than everybody talking about how fucking awesome the pro package is and all the money that they're making. As well, too, we have the actual alerting system up top here. So all of this is part of the pro package as well. So the breadth crosses, algo signals, and we even have under development other algos that would probably add things like key reversal systems and stuff. That's also part of the pro package as well. Okay, well then, Nico, what I would say to you, so Nico says here, I'm a bit scared that I pay for something I don't master efficiently since I am new level oneer and just looking for LOL. So my advice to you is you finish the level one, you get to the point where you feel comfortable that yes, I am now officially running an LOL plan. And if you're telling me that it's not worth 150 bucks a month to have access to Brian's LOL plan and that LOL room and all of that and our plan, well, then okay, fine. So be it. I'm not holding a gun to your head. And keep in mind that the pro package, and we haven't even gotten into this, but at some point in the not too distant future, Sjord and I have to get together. I mean, we just haven't had the time and actually show you actually how to use this engine for its what it's actually designed to do, and that's to actually help you screen the universe for trade ideas. So, like these are the pre-built screeners that I have. But notice crypto, crypto, crypto. Would it be of value to get key reversal signals in crypto? If you're doing an LOL plan, would it be value to get a list of crypto names that are basically at the bottom end of their trading ranges and, spitting up fives and sixes and stuff? I think so. So, and then, at some point in the not too distant future, Stuart and I have to get together, and part of the pro package is actually enabling you to build your own screeners. So, like Nico, maybe you're like, well, I like assets that are right at the bottom of their 52-week range, right? As a way to build the little old lady plan. You can build screeners in here. This needs some work. So, Stuart and I have to get together and get our head wrapped around this. But in essence, on here, you should be able to come in and build screeners that actually go through all of this. I trade crypto. I want assets that are at the bottom end of their range. And this should spit up like a shopping list for you on a daily basis. I can't show you this right now, and then also too, we have like whether you want these screeners to be part of the public, whether you want notifications, how do you want the notifications sent to you through your email kind of idea. So ironically enough, we're not even using this engine to a fraction of its incredible potential. Like something like just even the breadth indicator, we can come along here, and this page right here, we have a section right at the bottom that's just all crypto. So you can see who are the actual best performing assets in the crypto space right now. I think that Doge actually, it ran up there, but it kind of got knocked back down because of rockets blowing up or something along those lines. But you can see, hell, you can come in here and, just surf through, I trade Binance. So I want to look at everything that's on Binance and that's tradable on Binance because I'm interested in doing the little old lady program in Binance. Here's the entire Binance exchange. Frankly speaking, if you look at that kind of breadth indicator from Binance, you might say, you know what, I'm going to wait until this thing actually starts Wing before I actually go and buy any new assets. How would you know that without access to the breadth indicator? Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look at the entire Binance universe for charts. And I want to see W's. Well, I don't know. Maybe there was a W there. That kind of looks M-y. That looks M-y. That looks like it just put in an M. That looks like an M. Well, I don't see anything here. Is there anything that's putting in a W? Maybe I should just leave this stuff alone. Oh, I'm already long this W here. Oh, wait, look at that. He's moved up nicely. You can surf the entire crypto universe just right here at your fingertips. And you want to see something really cool. Okay, well, you know what? I do want this sorted. Okay, so this is alphabetical, right? Do I have to look at the whole damn thing? Why don't we sort based on the DI, this index that we created to measure the strength? You can see there's 1,000 names in our universe. Why don't I look at this universe based on the actual best performing or rated assets? So I click on that. You can see there's the worst assets. We want to avoid those things. There's the best assets. So now let's look at this universe based on ranking of all the best looking ideas. And look at these things. Holy crap. They've all gone crazy. Maybe you might want to look at these things the other way around. What are the worst looking ones? Because maybe they are going to start actually painting bottoms. But look at this. Isn't this incredible? And you go, hey, look at that MAV, that's actually pretty close to a W. Yeah, I might want to keep an eye on that one. If I get a dip down in here, I'll buy some. Look at that. There's an inverted head and shoulders, US dollar versus TARS. No idea who that is. This actually looks like a bullish bot that might be setting up. So, this is an incredible way that you can use the engine. Look at this ELF versus BTC. That was a buy at 1,000 and what, I guess right around 1,100 sats, and look at it go. There's the ELF versus USD. Well, maybe we won't chase that. But do you see how freaking cool this is? And you could just sit here and just look at this. There's 22 pages of these things. For $150 a month, you could just look at this lube. It's just sitting there. Hello, we now have an idea to go take a serious look at. And oh, by the way, I'm long for the bottom and I was banging out doubles through year. And I'm actually seriously thinking about going and reloading. So do you see how efficiently and quickly I found that idea? Isn't that cool? This engine is incredible. We are just scratching the surface of how incredibly powerful. Look at this Mina. I mean, does that not look like a bullish bot trying to set up? You just surf through this and you go, I trade bullish bots, right? You took the level 1 education program, so you know what a bullish bot is. And there's one just being handed to me on a silver platter. If we go and W out right here, this thing's a freaking buy. I mean, it's just that simple. So, Nico, what do you think? Does that make sense? Does that answer your question? How you could use this as a level oneer to try and surf through and find acceptable ideas? Can't do this unless you are a pro package member. What do you think? Was that a pretty good sales pitch? I hope it was. Ah, shitty. Well, you all, ironically enough, you all know what my number one job is. So I'm going to have to leave the public rant with you guys here. I'm really sorry. I think what we'll do is we'll highlight this. Obviously, this is asked by site members, students. So we'll just pick up where we left off in the after party tomorrow. And we'll just continue on this. I hope you guys enjoyed the offering here today. I do see that when I went a little crazy there trying to explain the value of the pro package, I do see the number of viewers fell off there. So anyway, I hope you guys got some value out of that. Hopefully it doesn't feel too shilly, but nonetheless, we do have a Black Friday deal. If you want to take advantage of this, I highly encourage you to do it. I haven't seen anybody on the internet teach a school program the way that we do. I think the tools that we've built here to help you understand and trade the market, give you edge, I think are second to none. So if you are interested, here is an opportunity for you to take advantage of deep discounts. I think I'm going to leave it at that. Slow and steady wins the race. You can subscribe for this newsletter in the link, I guess, that we have here. I guess it makes sense to do something along these lines. As well, too, on this newsletter, you can get a link to this offering. Hell, we haven't even talked about the weekly commodity trend survey here today. So, but you can get this newsletter in your email. And of course, remember, you want to kick the tires. You can come for a free 30-day trial and just, see what we do from the inside day in, day out. So maybe consider that as well. Okay, got to head to Liam. Please, everybody, take a moment and just wish us good luck on the roads and Liam in good spirits. He is low functioning autistic. If you understand what that means, then you know how challenging our lives are. Just say a karmic prayer for us this afternoon. I'd appreciate it. Other than that, thank you very much for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed the offering. Tell a friend. Maybe I see we only have about 50% likes on the number of viewers here today. So if you did enjoy everything that I talked about today, maybe consider hitting that like button. Maybe consider subscribing. We do free daily videos to sort of give you a bit of a head start on what we're seeing in the market on a daily basis. And we're also doing videos with Coinigy on a semi-monthly basis, once every 2 weeks. So maybe keep your eyes peeled for that event as well. All right, everybody, all the best. The only thing left for Brian to say is bye for now.